Welcome to Nameless Debate Radio, where radioactivity is contagious. You can join us in broadening our minds on the Nameless Debates Discord via the link below, and even feature here yourself, if you've got what it takes.
Well, what if
Don't fail it. Don't fail it. No.
Hang on. What if you're able to find evidence in order to prove that your truth claim, which was the original claim, was false? What if you're able to provide evidence for that, so it is a truth claim, and you're trying to prove that
Yep,
truth?
you failed it, dude. I don't know.
Oh my god.
You failed.
How?
The point is you're adding extra criteria. Let's just say take the statement by itself with nothing else. All right, and that's all right.
No, so when you see this sentence, true or false? This sentence, true or false? Does that make any sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
What?
Yes.
So close your eyes. This statement, right? You could say, "Oh yeah, that thing is true," or "Oh yeah, that thing is false." That doesn't make any sense, right? There's no claim.
Okay. Wait. Do you mean just this statement, or do you mean that a statement being made and asking if it's true or false?
No, I'm talking about the words. This statement.
Okay, just the words.
Yeah, just this statement.
Okay.
Right? That's not a truth claim. So then
that's not a truth claim. No, because if it's just the words, if it's just the words of this statement, then there's nothing really to be truthful of.
Exactly. Yep. So then you agreed that for something to say is false at the end, there has to be a truth claim, and we've established that saying this sentence is not a truth claim. Therefore,
can I ask you a question? When did you become Terrence?
I didn't become Terrence. This is very simple.
He's asking it because everyone else in the room is disagreeing with him, except for I think me. Maybe
I can't fathom. Yeah, I can't fathom how you disagree.
It's a clever linguistic paradox with no actual meaning, and we can do these in linguistics a lot, where you can create because language is contextual and subjective, and silly and messy. But you can do clever tricks with it.
Dude, the only way you can get to the bottom of this paradox is modal logic. Use modal logic.
Terrence, I feel like everything that comes out of your mouth, every time you open your mouth,
it's not actually a paradox. If you understand language, you understand that it's not actually a paradox and nothing is actually being said.
Okay, I'll say this right now. I don't think I have enough context for the actual discussion.
Okay, dude, just
I feel like I'm
listen to my words.
A lot of parts of this.
No, dude, because the thing is saying this statement is false is a paradox, and I'm saying when you say this statement is false, that means absolutely nothing because there's no truth claim to be made in that. There's no truth claim to say is false. Therefore, the sentence is meaningless shit. Is what I'm saying. And you've established that this sentence, just saying that, it's not a truth claim, right? So then you can't say is false right after that because you've said nothing because it's not a truth claim. And you've agreed that you have to have a truth claim to say something is false.
Yeah, I wish I could live stream a piece of paper and write down and show you how you're wrong.
Me for you, I can't.
Okay, I honestly feel like I'd have to do actual mental gymnastics just to oh my god.
Dude, it's not mental gym. It's the most simple straight line of logic you can ever imagine.
Nobody's doing gymnastics.
Okay, do you mean just the words this statement is false, or do you mean, or are you just are you putting a claim in there and then saying that is false, or is it just the words this statement is false on its own?
This statement is false
on its own.
Yes, this statement is false.
There's no claim. It's just this statement. Those exact words.
Yeah, so they're going to be is this statement is false, true or false, right? And then they do that paradox shit. That's what I'm saying. And when you say this statement is false, it's trash because there's nothing.
It's like a colloquially classic paradox.
Yeah, it's similar to the I am lying thing. And then it's okay, well, what are you lying about? And then when you establish that, because you have to be lying about something, and then you've established that, then the paradox completely goes away. The problem with the thing is that there's... Huh?
Look at my rolls, man.
Okay, Terrence. All right. Can we just establish that everyone else except for me and Julius is wrong? Can we just establish that?
No.
Well, it's like you need to add more to your statement for me to actually understand it because I'm tired. Like,
yeah, Stacey, Jen, let me try and hit it right. So you understand logical, like that. I'll just kind of make an appeal to pop culture. You understand that, like, that. Have you never like watched media and someone say these kind of things to a robot and a robot explodes? Like, this statement is false. I am lying.
No, I've never watched that.
No, wow. So you live under a rock. But
he lives in Canada.
It appears across media, right? And they're considered colloquially paradox. To say I am lying, that statement isn't actually a lie. It isn't truth either. It's a vacuous statement. Is Stacey's point. To make these statements are completely vacuous because they don't actually say anything. They're not actually paradoxes.
Well, are you taking into account evidence that's presented with that statement or just the statement itself?
No, they're just the statement itself. If evidence was presented with that statement, then it would not just be that statement in totality. Therefore, it wouldn't be a paradox. There, you can start assessing them, and that's the point. You're adding. Don't add extra criteria to what I've said. Just the statement within itself, I am lying, or the statement, this statement is false, is literally just those statements on their own are vacuous. Yes or no?
What does vacuous mean?
Empty. Oh my god! All right, you Google vacuous while I tell him how he's wrong.
Difu, you can't. This is the most simple line of logic.
No. Please, like, don't interrupt. Like,
hold on.
It means they're empty of any real meaning. Do you agree, Adorite?
Yeah, I'll just go ahead and say yes, sure.
He's tapping out because he don't. Oh, here's
I'm not trying to push him on it. I'm just trying to explain the concept.
Like, can't we debate like hate speech laws or something instead?
No, this is like way more important. You can go debate that with Crambo up there.
I'm not debating hate speech laws with a centrist.
Dude, why not? He's not a centrist, dude. He thinks that like we should have machine guns on top of every roof to, like, defend ourselves against the private citizens that own like fighter jets and shit.
Look, I just got Adobe Premiere. Don't tell Crambo I said this, but I'm currently working on a video as to why places like America need socialism and government intervention in the economy. I'm going to be working on that video for the next month or two.
All right, well, we're going on the liar's paradox, and we're telling Nifu why he's like actually wrong.
Oh my god! Right. So, okay. First thing that we shouldn't do, because they're not the same, is we shouldn't assume two sentences are the same. The whole "I am lying" and this sentence is false. They're not identical, right? So that's the first thing we shouldn't do. But
I didn't say they're identical. I said they're similar.
Okay, well, similar is exactly enough different where we should just isolate them. So the following
they
is
use different words. However, I would posit that they have the exact same amount of emptiness within their meaning.
Okay, here's why you're wrong. Okay, so if we take the sentence, this sentence is false, right? If we take that sentence, all we have to do is the word sentence, right? The word sentence. If we just make that, let's say, a variable, so x, right? Then you have to ask yourself, what is the value of x? What is x, right?
Yeah, okay. So but that no, stop. Immediately that changes it. When you change the word, you change the context of everything.
No, I'm not changing the word.
Are you changing statement to x?
I'm not changing the word. I'm not changing the word. I'm trying to show you its function in the context of the sentence by using an example. I'm not changing the sentence. I'm not changing.
No, but you're adding criteria. Yes.
No, I'm not adding criteria. I'm trying to get us to agree on the function of example in this, example, in this claim, in this sentence. I'm trying to get the language to be less redundant. Understand the context of function.
You've already hit a point where we have disagreement, and I don't understand what you're talking about.
Yeah, I agree. I don't understand what I'm talking about, but I'm trying to explain it. So if we, all I'm asking is that as an aside to the debate, we identify what sentence means. And I'm telling you that the operating definition that I have given this example sentence, which really we'll call it the paradox sentence, right? So I don't have to keep calling it like this sentence, because that's really taxing linguistically, right? This example, it begs meaning to be immediate, and it's wrong. Like, it's just bad. It's a bad way to have a conversation. All right. So the paradox question, right? The paradox, the function of the word sentence inside of the paradox is to isolate the entire sentence, right? So when you get to the word sentence, when you get to that word, it's identifying all four of the words that make up the sentence.
I see what you're trying to do, but I disagree.
Okay, so our disagreement is on the function of the word, which is all I was trying to get across.
You're speaking of an abstract thing, like the word, like a sentence is an abstract concept, and you're kind of trying to use the law of identity here to demonstrate that the sentence is four words. Perhaps, but even then, it's still, so even if I accept that premise, it's still just I still come to the same conclusion. It's clever wordplay. It's kind of like ninjistic, fucking, like as he said, linguistic ninjutsu, like ninja linguistics, basically. Like it's a clever trick.
Yeah, dude, it's linguistics sleight of hand. That's all this shit is.
It doesn't mean anything.
But you as the reader, it's your job. It's literally your function as the reader to understand each word's function within the sentence.
Yes, and I can do that, and I am doing that.
Okay, but
and
if you don't...
I'm coming to the conclusion that the sentence is an incoherent concept.
Yeah, well, there's only two positions here. There's only two positions. So it's really a matter...
Here's a better thing. Do you think the sentence is coherent or incoherent?
No. It's like if you say...
No. Answer me. Is the sentence coherent or incoherent?
Now you have to tell me what you mean by the sentence.
No. You have to can you have incoherent... Okay, can you have incoherent statements?
Yes, you can have incoherent statements.
And what does that mean?
It means that you can say shit that doesn't mean shit.
You can say shit that doesn't mean shit. Congratulations. So you understand my position, whether or not you agree with it.
I understand. What's fucked up is I see where you're at. I clearly see that you don't see where I'm at. That's the issue. See, it's optics. It's always been optics.
What? So you think it's do you think it's a coherent statement?
You don't see what my understanding is.
Do you think it's a coherent statement?
I'm sorry, what'd you say?
Do you think the statement we are discussing is coherent?
I think when you read it, the sentence is true. Yes. I think when you read the paradox...
I asked, is it coherent? I'm more interested in whether it's coherent or incoherent. Is it coherent?
Yeah. It's coherent.
Why? How is it coherent?
Because all the parts required for are present.
Dude, my will to live is like running a 1%. So I'm gonna head out.
It violates logical laws, so we throw it out as incoherent. That's my rebuttal.
Okay,
you can organize you can organize words in orders to violate things like the law of non-contradiction, middle exclusion, law of identity, right? You can do this. Mm-hmm. You can say all kinds of sentences and all kinds of phrases and words that violate laws of logic. However, that doesn't actually violate the laws of logic. We've just happened to have organized the words in this way, right? Because words aren't like numbers. They aren't set in stone. They're contextual. They're messy.
Yeah, which is why I'm trying to get you to agree on a definition of the word sentence inside of this paradox. Yeah. Let's call it an example. Let's just call the whole... you know what? Let's call that collection of four words. It doesn't matter what I agree to.
So the point is, right? So you could change it. You can change the word sentence to mean something. So to make this statement coherent. But as my understanding of the word sentence, the statement is incoherent. So, but all you've done is demonstrate how language can change to make statements incoherent to coherent. which is true, that is a function of language. We can literally sit there. This is the point of like editing, right? So you'd be, well, this doesn't make any sense. So we edit it so it does make sense.
Yeah.
So you can edit the meaning of the word sentence, but as I understand what is being discussed, it is not a coherent concept, and you'd have to play a lot of games to make it a coherent concept.
Okay, everything you said, I agree with, but it's you have an incomplete description. Like, you've told me everything that you know and understand and believe. I'm telling you, there's more.
Just if you want to define sentence, go to Oxford. What's that? Define it via Oxford.
You're
doing insect.
You're being okay. You're being difficult way before the point where you would have to be difficult. Like,
yeah, see, Instinct did it as well.
My example.
So no, Instinct's done this. So he's probably addressed this even better than me. If you read the chat right now, yes, there is no truth claim, but self-referential truth claims. No, he says there is a truth claim, but self-referential truth claims aren't coherent proposition. It isn't a valid proposition. And that's it. So by that metric, it means nothing. It is a self-referential. There you go. It's a self-referential truth claim.
Where are you seeing these words?
It's in main chat. Stacey's talking to Insync about it, and he's basically taking. So he basically said, regardless of whether or not. So he said there is a truth claim, but it's not coherent.
Wait, hold on. I gotta.
Yeah, that, and which my point is that it's not a coherent proposition, and this is what I've been saying. Ironically, that Insync has now mirrored this, and I'm reading it. We discard incoherent things.
So what's going on here?
There was an argument about Stacey was having with the rest of the room about this sentence is false, and this sentence is false, and he was saying it doesn't mean anything in the kind of like coherent, which I've translated into. It doesn't mean anything in a coherent sense. Yes, it does mean what the words mean.
It means something,
but it doesn't actually mean anything coherent. Therefore,
it doesn't mean anything that you can understand.
Yes.
Yeah.
There we go.
Like, it's not, yeah. Like, it does mean something, but what it means is something that people cannot comprehend. And so, like, what we call that is...
It's not necessarily that it could be that it's not comprehensible because it doesn't make any sense.
Wait, Insync.
That's what I said. Like, when we cannot comprehend something, we call it nonsense.
Yes.
Wait, Insync, can I just say my position, because this has been what I want to do this like entire time?
That's it.
Okay, so like to say something is false, there has to be a truth claim made. So like if I say this vehicle is red, or like this thing is this length, or this thing exists, these are things you can say is false, right? And then when you say this statement, there's no truth claim in there. So to say this statement is false is meaningless.
No, it is meaningless, but there is a truth claim. That's what I was getting at. So the thing is, when you say things, you are saying they're true. Like, implicit in the structure of proposing something, right, is the assumption that what you're proposing is true. That's why we call it propositional truth. It's so like when I say this sentence is false, there's a bit I'm not saying, which is it is true that this sentence is false. Right? That's what I'm saying. Otherwise, I wouldn't have like verbalized it if I didn't think it was true.
But
But
like I don't no. But what I'm saying is I don't see what it means to say this sentence and then say is false afterward. How does that make any sense whatsoever?
No, it doesn't make sense, but it does constitute a truth claim.
But it doesn't.
No. That's weird. I lagged out. I came back and he's right. That's weird.
There's a difference between a truth claim which can be made sense of and one that can't, right? Like, I can make a truth claim that doesn't make any sense. That doesn't mean it's not a truth claim.
Yeah, so this is the point. So it's still meaningless. Stacey. That's
Okay,
the point,
I'm
right?
glad.
So
Okay, yeah. So I'm glad
it's
we've
still
established
meaningless.
that
It's still
meaningless
coherent.
bullshit.
It's still
Okay.
incoherent. It's still nonsense, right?
Okay,
There
so
is a truth claim there, and so
okay.
you're slightly wrong about that, but you're still completely correct about
Okay,
everything
I
else.
don't care about like semantic or truth claim. I just want to establish there's bullshit.
The point is you have to be clear about why it's nonsense, because we agree it's nonsense, but it's not nonsense because there's no claim. It's actually the opposite. It's nonsense because by making the claim you contradict yourself.
That's the I reading the chat, and you brought up I brought up that you can make statements that violate the law of identity non-contradiction. You can organize words in patterns and ways that violate logical laws. But when they violate those laws, they become incoherent concepts.
Yes, correct.
They still exist as sentences, and you can still read them and make sense of what the sentence is trying to say, but they don't actually mean anything at the end of the day. And that's my entire point.
They evaluate to something that's false, is what we mean when we say that they don't mean anything.
Yes.
Yes. So they do have a meaning attached to each individual words, but when you do the evaluation of all the words together, you come up with that did not follow. That couldn't be true. It violates the rules. And that's how we say that, for instance, the liar's paradox is false. We say the liar's paradox violates the laws. And so it's only by not explicitly identifying that it's contradictory that you get sucked into the liar's paradox, because you're not supposed to evaluate statements that don't make sense. The way that this particular statement doesn't make sense, it goes in a circle. So what you say is things that go in a circle like that are false. You don't say, okay, let's check it repeatedly forever.
So that Mage, what do you think now?
I think that you guys are in 3 separate rooms and you think you're all standing beside each other.
No, I'm pretty much in line with what.
Dude, I think that I don't know where I am right now, and I think that
I'm not in 3 separate rooms. That Mage. I understand.
Dude, we're holding hands right now.
Have it the best. I wasn't able to best. No, seriously, I wasn't able to word it or elucidate it the best at first. But ultimately, my line of reasoning perfectly agrees with what Instinct says, and I think Stacey agrees with us now that we've explained it to him.
Okay,
I don't know, but yeah,
this is like some transitive property shit. I agree with him. He agrees with him. Thusly, we all agree with each other.
Stop meaning you don't actually your position still doesn't make sense.
Tell me.
You haven't heard my position. He hasn't heard my position.
Tell me, first of all, your position, and then tell me what you think each of us said.
Okay, I will do that. And the preamble to me doing that is simply me stating that he hasn't heard my position. So now I'm going to give you, for the first time, my position. All right. You're disagreeing, not even know what you're disagreeing with. Okay.
No, I heard your position, but whatever.
No, so I asked him if we just quantify what is implied by the usage of the word sentence, which I asked him to do. I said, if we just make it a variable, what is this saying here? What is that word saying? And by that word, I mean sentence. And let's just call it a variable, which is X, which is something you do all the time when you're evaluating shit. And he's like, no, you're changing it. And I was like, I'm identifying it, right? And then I told him there's only 2 scenarios. You can conceive of the word inside of its context to just mean what sentence traditionally means, right? Or you can conceive of it as being, I guess, self-referential or including itself in its description in the context, of the statement as in its entirety, right? Like it's a self-aware statement, right? And I said that's the 2. I'm sorry.
Sorry, continue.
Yeah, but I was saying that that's the 2 things. That's the pivotal point in the sentence. Because if you finish it in one way, then yeah, it's completely incoherent. It doesn't actually make a statement about anything. But if you read it in another, like if you view it through a slightly different perspective, right? And then it pivots on the function of that one word inside of the statement. If you change that, then it's a perfectly coherent sentence that tells you something true while stating, you know, in words, like in you know, I guess like the pattern of words is false, but the way it reads is true, right? Hence the paradox.
No, yeah, so I don't think that both of those options aren't valid. Only the self-referential analysis is valid. If you take the former, you've come up with a contradiction. When you say that the meaning is false, but the way that it's written is true, that's a contradiction.
No, okay. When you as the reader read the paradox for the first time, like if we imagine that it was just written on a slip of paper or a fucking, I don't know, like a fortune cookie, right? Like when you read it, you're reading something that is true. You're reading a statement that is true.
Wait. When you read it the first time, what you're doing is you're treating it as if it's true, so that you can evaluate it. You don't, like, it's not that it is true. You treat it as if it is.
Yeah, but it pivots on your definition of the word sentence.
No, but what I'm saying is that when you first come along, so only one of those definitions works. The definition that you said where you read it as it is, like, classically written, that definition doesn't work.
I mean, I agree that the sentence is poorly formed, but it's a poorly formed sentence. Oh my God, I hate that we use the word sentence. It's a poorly formed statement. It's a poorly formed statement that anchors entirely on your perception of the word sentence as the reader.
No, but I'm saying, like, it's not the definition of sentence that is changing, right? It's the scope with which you analyze that definition, right? So if if you analyze it independent to everything else and you say this is what the word means in isolation, fair enough, then it means something. But then the thing is that the statement is collecting the things together.
Yeah, the statement is collecting the things together, but it's referencing itself. It's okay. When you finish a math problem, right? When you finish a math problem, and then you understand a concept like something like the speed of light, right? Like we just write it as c, but if we had to express it, it would be expressed differently. That's kind of how words work in the first place, right? Like a definition is made up of words, but a word is made up of a definition, correct?
Words don't have intrinsic meaning. They have uses.
Exactly.
Use words.
To meanings.
No,
yeah,
words don't
exactly.
No, but the meanings don't refer to words. It's not the other way around.
No, okay. Every single word can be put in the dictionary, but it takes every single word in the dictionary to make, it takes the words in the dictionary, or it takes you get what the fuck I'm saying. Don't make me finish the sentence.
I'm saying, like, how are both of those analyses coherent? They don't seem that way to me.
Well, where exactly am I losing you? Because it sounds like you understand that it's in one way, because you're the reader, right? You're the reader. The sentence has to make sense. The sentence has to make sense to you, right?
No. Here's the thing: is that if when I read that sentence, I fail to identify that it is a contradiction, there is my mistake. And if I continue trying to analyze it further, then my mistake is behind me.
No. When you read the words, this sentence is false, you're reading a true sentence wherein the subject of the sentence is self-identifying.
I don't know what you mean when you call it a true sentence.
Well, it's a true sentence. Like when you read this sentence is false, it's a statement of its reality.
That's incoherent.
It's a statement of its reality.
It's an incorrect statement. It's an incoherent statement.
No, I agree. I agree that the sentence isn't correct, but when you read it, it's the truth.
No. When you read it, it's incoherent.
I don't actually have any idea what you mean when you say that.
Yeah, like you're saying nothing. You're saying something completely vacuous again. Like, this is the point. When you read it, it's incoherent. when you read it and understand it, be like, okay, this makes no fucking sense. That's what you do, unless you fundamentally don't understand.
Okay, but when I read it, I'm like, wow, this sentence is a contradiction, right? Like I come to the conclusion that the sentence is a contradiction in that it is making a true claim. Yeah, it's making a true claim. Then you have a lack of an understanding of laws of logic. No. Which specific law of logic does this conflict with?
Non-contradiction.
But that's the thing, though, is I'm identifying it as what it is. I'm identifying it as a statement that is a contradiction. I'm identifying it for what it is.
But that makes it incoherent.
Okay, I agree. I agree that the words have. Okay, I see where the issue is. See, you think we're getting hung up on what do you? Okay, so when you're telling me I think it's incoherent, what the fuck does that mean? If I understand the pieces, I understand the pieces, and when I read it, I'm reading something that is true. Tell me where I'm wrong. Like you're saying it's incoherent, but all the pieces work. It's a matter of perspective, though. It's like firmly a matter of perspective. Uh-oh. Are we all still? Where'd everybody go?
I'm here, Nifu. I'm sorry, I had to do this to you.
I thought people died. I was like, uh-oh, did people die?
Nah, dude, I had to do this to you, man. You were trying to give it to me. I had to get my goons on you.
No, what? No, dude, well, first off,
the opposite just happened. What the fuck?
Uh-oh.
Wait, everybody's confused. What the hell?
Dude, he's fucking yelling at probably like a fast food restaurant.
I said no lettuce. Oh. Wait, where did... Okay, no, he's still here. Yo, Seizure. Mr. Julius Caesar.
It's Julius, motherfucker.
Julius Caesar. Are you there, sir? No. It's me. Alright, well. I win by knockout. I killed him with my logic.
Dude, I made Discord cut off when I fucked up Terrence.
Yeah. No idea what the fuck that was.
I'm not even comfortable saying anything about it at this point.
Okay, can you hear me?
You're pretty low in sync if you were asking that to us.
Yeah, if you're talking to us, and you're like a million miles away.
Like, literally. But not literally. Literally meaning figuratively.
like ironically.
Like, ironically unironic.
Yeah, dude. Like, totally for sure. Kind of.
Oh, man. So, Nifu, I don't know where our friendship stands at this point. Like, honestly, after that conversation I had with you, I really don't.
Yeah, I agree.
Dude, like, my will to live and our friendship are, like, on a fucking thin hair.
Like, all I'm saying is that if someone happened upon a fortune cookie, right? Someone is just like, ooh, a fortune cookie, and open it and read the paradox, right? If they read those 4 words,
yeah,
they would be like, LOL, the function of this
bullshit,
sentence,
right? Yeah.
No, they would be like, the function of this sentence is to tell me a truth by identifying itself as a lie. That's like the function of the sentence.
What's the truth do?
The truth is that the statement is a lie. That's the truth.
No. But like, that's not okay. So you're saying it's true that the statement is false. Why?
Yeah, why is it false?
Yeah, correct.
It's not false. It's
You just said it's true that the statement is a lie. That's what you said. I asked you what the truth you got from it was. You said it's true that the statement is a lie. The question is, how is it true that the statement is a lie?
because it's a statement. It's true in description, but not in function.
Yeah, that's not how it's false. That's not how it's a lie.
You're like really hard to understand. You said that's not how what?
That's not how it's false.
That is? I don't know what to say back to you. I don't know what to
It's false for a technical reason. It's false because it violates the law of non-contradiction.
Yes.
Oh shit.
Like this is the whole basic
Yeah, that's
point.
why. It's not false because you evaluate it to be false. It's false because, technically speaking, it's not a coherent proposition.
Yeah, propositions have to be coherent to even be true in the first place.
Yeah, that's accurate.
Like this is, I'm not sure. I know Stacey's probably super glad that the cavalry finally arrived with me and between.
Dude,
me and
yes, I'm so. I had to. Yeah.
Yeah, but apparently no one else agreed with Stacey on this, which is, even though Stacey was slightly wrong about the truth, like, it's moderately concerning that everyone thinks that it's that contradictions somehow don't. Yeah.
I don't want to be that guy, but somebody that I've been waiting to talk to for like a week is about to call me, so I have to bounce. But I'm willing to pick this back up, just so we're clear.
Dude, Nifu, I'm gonna get even more hitmen on you, and I'm gonna fuck you up.
Well, I mean, I'm gonna be on for a while, but for the next 15 minutes, I have to take this phone call.
Yeah, that's okay. I got like a social event in the next like 20 minutes for about an hour or so. After that, I'll be free though.
All right, yeah, I'll be on probably all night or whatever. Well, it's night for me. I'll be on all night.
And you're on, I could rant him about being incoherent anyway.
Yay!
Yeah, too easy.
Okay, yeah. Insync, are you still gonna be here for a little bit?
Yeah, for like 5 minutes.
Okay, yeah. I'm still not totally clear on why what I said was incorrect.
Okay, you said there was no truth claim.
There's no truth claim to say is false. There's just a statement.
Maybe no, but a statement is by definition a truth claim.
Okay, okay. So is there another word that I need to use instead?
Yeah, I think what you mean to say is that there is no coherent truth claim, which is accurate.
No. Okay, yeah.
If you notice what
because
the point that I came to started attacking him on, I'm like, no, it's not coherent.
Yeah. So like it seems like it's the equivalent of saying door is true. Like it's just like, okay, it seems kind of like nonsense, right?
Oh no, it's worse than that. It's like saying open is closed.
Okay.
Well, I think the example I used was this car is red. This blue car is red.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, this blue car is red.
He's like, no, I'm like, well, no, it's. He's like, oh, that's demonstrably not true. I'm like, so is the other one.
Yeah, it just doesn't seem like I could refer to something like saying this, like just this statement. Just those words isolated, and then make a claim about whether it's true or false. It just doesn't seem like
but the words aren't being taken in isolation. The words are taken in their context. So this statement refers to the statement that's being said.
Doesn't that just go into like infinite regress? So then you're saying like this statement is false, and then you just go like that, repeating like backwards to him.
No. We stop and rest it on the law of non-contradiction. We go, this statement is false because of the law of non-contradiction, and then we stop.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, but I'm saying
that's the point. Yeah, that's why.
No, yeah, but like still, my question is, if the statement, if you're saying this statement refers to, go ahead, you're cutting out, Insane. Hello.
Hello.
He roboted.
Oh God, Insync. No.
Oh my God. Insync, what the fuck?
Dude, don't die on me. I need you. I need you for this. Man, it just seems like what I was saying was so clear.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I'm still not entirely convinced that they weren't just fucking with you, Stacy. But he seems to be legitimately arguing against Insync. So Insync will eventually beat the logic into him.
Dude, because I knew Insync agreed with me like somewhat, because we had this conversation a little bit before. So I knew that like he didn't disagree with me, at least to the point like where he would have something like me for his position. So that's why I had to get him in here.
But yeah, the best thing to do is just skip to the incoherent point, right? Don't argue about like the sentence itself. Just be like, the sentence itself is incoherent.
Yeah, but still, like I just want to know though, because I've always made this point as well. If you're going to say that this statement is referring to this statement as false, it's saying that it's equal to it. And wouldn't that mean that you can just keep on going back into like...
No, as I said, because you have to explain why. So when you say something's wrong, you explain why it's wrong, right, Stacey? You don't say that's wrong, and someone asks why. But well, that's wrong because that's wrong. You don't do that. You go, that's wrong because reason X. And reason X in this case is this violates the law of non-contradictions. As a result of violating the law of non-contradiction, it's false. There's your stopping point. So you go to there. You don't just say, well, this statement is false. You go via the law of non-contradiction, this statement is an incoherent concept, therefore we discard it. You don't even bother saying the statement's false, Stacey. Don't even argue whether it's true or false. Just say it's incoherent. It's much more accurate terminology. And yeah, to say it's incoherent is not to get involved in silly infinite regression games.
Okay, but yeah, sure.
Ignore infinite regression.
I just want to be able to explain, because he's making the point of like non-contradiction, but I still just want to make the point that saying this statement is false is meaningless. I just want to see how I can show that it's actually meaningless.
I mean, it's meaningless so it does have meaning. Like, so you got to be careful with that statement. I agree, but I think incoherent is the best word you can use. This statement is incoherent. It's a synonym for meaningless, but it's far better.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I would agree with that. But like, still, when you say this sentence, I don't see how that's a claim that you could say, oh, that's true or false. That's the point I'm trying to.
That's the point, right? You don't. It's incoherent. And if your incoherent thing, the point is, Stacey, if it's incoherent, you don't even evaluate whether it's true or false. You just be like, this is incoherent. It violates the law of non-contradiction, and we just drop it. You just discard it. You don't even evaluate it. You just discard the concept. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. I just wanted, because there's like,
I know you want to say it in a certain way, but
there's just like
the way you want to say it, you're going to trap yourself in logical loops and allow attacks upon yourself. So
no, I just feel like there's something different about what I'm saying and what you guys are saying, and I want to
perhaps, but ours are the more logically, like ours are rested upon the laws of logic.
Dude, you're just special, Stacey.
Dude, I am. Yes, of course I'm special.
And you don't disagree with what me and Insync are saying, do you?
No, I don't disagree with what you're saying. I just want to be able to say what I mean when I'm speaking this, because Insync said that it is a truth claim, so I can't say that there's no truth claim in there. So there's obviously a different word that I mean. It's not useful
to say that there's no truth. It's not useful to say whether or not there's a truth claim doesn't actually mean anything.
Well, yeah, it does, because if there's no truth claim, then you can't say it's true or false.
Yeah, no, but the point is you can make incoherent truth claims. So a truth claim, literally saying this blue car is red, is actually a truth claim. It's just not a correct truth claim, Stacey.
Yeah, but then saying this blue car isn't a truth claim.
No, I'm take the sentence in totality. This blue car is red is a claim. It's just
yes, that is a claim. Yes, that.
Yeah. So don't break up the sentence. Just don't break up the sentence.
Dude, I need to break up the sentence. It's like
but you can't. It's not
there.
how
I want to show it. It is
it's
there.
Not how language works.
It is there, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah, but dude,
yo, what's up, gamers?
Ultimately, Stacey, what you're doing is entirely unnecessary. And if
it might be unnecessary, but I still want to show it, man.
Okay, but you can't because there's nothing like that's going to support you in the laws of logic. There's nothing that's going to support you in a bit.
Yes.
Well,
yes,
you're going to have to find it on your own because
I'm gonna get it, man.
The problem is it's like you're more emotionally invested in this than like logically. Like Matt and I believe myself, epistemologically, like just shat all over the position. We just took a big epistemological dump. And I understand that you want to attack it in a different way. But ultimately, it's the point is that it's just you got to pick your battles, and that's not the battle you want to pick.
Okay, man. I just don't see what's wrong about trying to understand what I'm trying to say. That's all I'm really trying to do here. That if you realize, that's actually like originally I wanted to have this conversation with Insync.
I have it with him when he gets back. Avoid other nerds. Yeah, I think you've just confused yourself by talking to other people.
Yeah, man. Because like Insync probably would have pointed out like, oh no, there is a truth claim.
So what did Cramboat kind of agree? Yeah, he did. He actually, if you actually read main chat, he addressed you with this already. He said, what the fuck did he say? He said something about a self-referential truth claim. He says there is a truth claim, but self-referential truth claims aren't coherent proposition. It isn't a valid proposition. So it's meaning. So in that sense, it's meaningless.
Okay.
But doesn't mean that it isn't a truth claim, but yeah. It's one of the things on the server doc where every channel can be recorded at any given time. It's what they do. They record all their debates and they put them up on YouTube. They put some of the debates up on YouTube once they quality control check them.
Yeah. And then another thing, like with the I am lying, that's
No, it's the same thing.
I don't know if
same
it's
thing.
the same thing, but like with I am lying, there has to be something that you are lying about, and then it completely goes away.
It's the statement by itself is an incoherent proposition.
Yes, because there has to
lying.
be something that you are lying about. And if you're lying about nothing, then it means nothing.
So
right?
You check the language for coherency. If the language doesn't meet a coherent proposition, you discard it. That's the point of propositions.
Okay. Yes. Yep.
So like, propositions have to be coherent. If they are non-coherent, but that's the point, right? And this is the point that Insync is going to get you on. Propositions are propositions, regardless of whether or not they're coherent or not.
Okay.
And that's what we do. We separate propositions or truth claims into coherent truth claims and incoherent truth claims. But they're still all truth claims. They're still all propositions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay.
And that's the point you're getting stuck on, where you think that if something is an incoherent truth claim, it makes it not a truth claim. No, it still does make it a truth claim. It just makes it a bad one.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I got you.
Insync could probably say this a lot better than I can.
Yeah, sure. But like in that sense, so like you accept what I'm saying with the I am lying thing. It seemed like you were going to like start being like, oh no, you don't need to go down this. But then you've seen, so like you agree that there has to be something that you are lying about, and if you're lying about nothing, it's
no. It's
and once you say that you are lying,
it's because the statement by itself is incoherent. Unless you add extra information, the statement is incoherent. But I'm evaluating it through a coherent versus incoherent.
Yes, proposition. And I'm showing that it's incoherent because you have to be lying about something.
Yes, but that doesn't mean that it isn't a proposition. It's still a proposition, Stacey. It's just not a coherent proposition. Do you understand this?
Yes, I never said that it wasn't a proposition.
And do you understand that a proposition is synonymous with the truth claim?
Yeah.
Which, so I reference the other statement. That's the point. This sentence is false, is a proposition. But you can't break up the sentence.
Yeah, well, I mean, we're
what's
talking about the other
weird-
thing. No, but yeah, okay.
Okay. That's the point. I don't think you can break up the sentence. Because then it changes the context of the sentence.
No, you're starting to sound like Nifu.
No, I'm sounding like Instinct.
Yeah, you sound like Nifu. He was saying that shit a while ago. He's like, no, you gotta take the thing as a whole, you know? You can't just break
You
it
do.
down.
You actually do.
No,
The point with
why? I can't.
because that's how propositions work, Stacey. That's how we evaluate coherency.
Dude, like if I'm in a fucking English class and the teacher's not gonna be like, "Oh yeah, don't break up the sentence and like see what."
No, because we're not in English class, Stacey. We're in epistemological class. We're in logic class. We're in philosophy of linguistics, not English class, which is very different things.
So like, I feel like there's
Don't
good
make false
reason.
equivocations with me.
I feel like there's good reason to break up like the statements that people make.
I don't believe you can demonstrate that.
Thank you for listening. Like, share, subscribe, and join us in the Nameless Debates Discord. We hope to see you there.